things are better left unknown. And I'll never find you here, 'cause no one's ever is clean, she's a sneaky hider. Hide the lies and the alibis. Oh, what a sinner is it in her? What's the truth in this riddle? Is love really just this simple? I can't seem to find my way in this world that never stays. What a widow, a peaceful spider. When the glass is clean, she's a sneaky hider. Hide the lies and the alibis. What a sinner is it in her? Is this real? Just illusion? I'm lost in a wonderland of confusion. I'm lost in a wonderland of confusion. Is this real or just illusion? Manifestation or a dark delusion? Is this real or just illusion? I'm lost in a wonderland of confusion.
Ripon Rabbit Hole is a community-driven radio. At times the community comments may reveal prejudices and other beliefs that we or our sponsors do not condone. Views or opinions expressed by the community, callers, or guests, are those of the individual speaking and do not represent the views or opinions of this site. Ripon Common Sense content is intended for mature audiences only. Enjoy.
Multiverse broadcasting system initiated.
Lasers.
Multiverse connection established.
Lasers.
Hello.
Multiverse connection secure.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe.
This is My Life DIY, and
Hi, this is JoJo.
Hi, my name is Ash.
Hey everybody, it's AJ the Ripon Rabbit.
This is Cynthia Sue Larson.
This is your man Meta, aka Propagate This Light.
And you're now listening
to Dark Wolf's Den.
The Dark Wolf's Den Show on Ripon Common Sense Radio.
Are ghosts real?
We had 1,000 hours of continuous communication with the spirit world.
Does time travel actually exist?
The laws of physics seem to be compatible with time machines.
You know, sometimes I wonder about reincarnation, don't you?
A 4-year-old boy in Adelaide, Australia, has told his parents that he used to be Britain's Princess Diana.
What would happen if the world found out that aliens were real?
I didn't say disclosure would be easy, but what is the alternative?
To establish a space force as the 6th branch of the armed forces.
We have so many questions and yet so little time, so to have you here, the pleasure is all mine.
Coming to you from a secret cave, hidden deep within the wilderness. This is the Dark Wolf's Den Show. Now, here is your host, Jerry Hicks.
That's right, I am Jerry Hicks, also known as the Dark Wolf, and we are broadcasting live across the multiverse from a secret cave hidden deep within the wilderness of Tennessee. That's right, we're ripping through the electromagnetic soup, tearing through the atmosphere, and tunneling away into your radio like a quantum particle. This is the Dark Wolf's Den Show for Thursday, August 12th, 2021. So whether you're on the edge of reality, the edge of the galaxy, or the edge of your seat, we're glad you chose us to be right there with you. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to go over what has been nothing more than an incredible journey. That's right. I traveled myself from Idaho all the way to Tennessee, and the in-between was nothing shy of amazing, let me tell you guys. Well, I'm going to tell you guys. I'm going to tell you all about it tonight, August 12th, 2021, on the Dark Wolf's Den radio show. But first, today in history. On this day in the year 3 AD, there was a conjunction between Venus and Jupiter that was thought to be the Star of Bethlehem that led the wise men to Jesus. That is on this day in 3 AD. And that is today's Today in History. That's right. Could you imagine following nothing more than a star because you think something's at the end of it or it's going to lead you somewhere? Because remember, they had no guarantee. They believed what they were doing, but they had no guarantee. They had to be pretty afraid, I'm sure. And that brings us to our quote of the day.
Say what?
That's right. Now, I was looking for different quotes on journeying, and I couldn't find any I liked except for this one. I really like this one. It says, "Be afraid and do it anyway." Now, if that doesn't speak volumes to what's going on in today's world, I don't know what is, but I think that is great advice. Be afraid and do it anyway. And that is today's segment of
Say What?
So many of you guys may or may not know that I pretty well had it made where I was at. I had a job that paid me really good. I had no expenses at all. I lived on the property. I had no bills. I was making nothing but profit. It was a really, really good setup that most people would kill to have. And I was extremely happy with it, don't get me wrong. Until the time that they decided to start discriminating against certain employees for not doing what they like. For instance, not getting a jabber jockey in order to keep working, or being punished for not getting a jabber jockey. And I refused to do it, so I stood up to them, and they subsequently fired me. And there is legal actions against this, so I am only allowed to say so much, but I can tell you that I got fired for unlawful reasons, to put it lightly. But that kicked off an amazing journey, because I decided to go back to Tennessee with my daughter and grandbabies, as you guys know. But the journey in between was nothing short of incredible. So I literally went very cliche on this one. I went for the planes, trains, and automobiles. all three in that order. So I flew out of Idaho, out of Sun Valley, and I landed in Seattle to begin with, and that's a nice little place over there. I didn't get to see much of it. I ended up running back and forth to the airport most of the time, but we did stop in Seattle, and then we jumped on a plane in Seattle, and we flew down to Las Vegas. And that was pretty much all the journeying for day one. And when we got to Las Vegas, we actually ended up going to our buddy AJ the Ripon Rabbit's house. Shout out to AJ the Ripon Rabbit. And I actually got to meet AJ in person and hang out with him, and that was lots and lots of fun. I did have a picture. I don't think I've got it available right now, but a picture of me standing with my luggage when I arrived at AJ's, and that was a great time. Vegas is extremely hot, don't get me wrong, but I had an absolute blast hanging out and meeting with my buddy. But let me tell you guys something about time-locked events. I've talked about time-locked events on this episode a couple times. It's my own theory, of course, but it's really neat when you live part of your theory, when you pretty much live your entire theory. When I got fired, when everything started to happen, the way that it happened was incredibly synchronistic. I can't go into details on air, once again, a lot of legalities, but it was incredibly synchronistic how it happened. And that was clue one. See, when it comes to time-locked events, they have to be kicked off with an incredibly synchronistic event. And during this journey, I felt that I was truly in a time-locked event. And toward the end of the story, we'll bring this up again, and I'll explain the ending of the time-locked event. But again, we ended up in Vegas, and Vegas was lots of fun. And for those asking, no, I did not spend a single penny on a gambling machine or card. I thought about it, don't get me wrong, but I never actually broke down and put any money in the machines. Would have been my luck, I'd have hit the jackpot, right? No, would have been my luck, I'd have spent every penny I had, and the next person would have hit the jackpot. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, so that was the first leg of our journey. We took an airplane from Sun Valley to Seattle, then Seattle to Las Vegas. And no longer did we get on the airplane. You see, from there, our buddy AJ the Ripon Rabbit did me a favor and drove me down to Kingman, Arizona. And that's where we found a place called the Rickety Cricket. As you see here, we've got a couple pictures. This is the outside of the Rickety Cricket. And this is the waitress that served both AJ and I. Really sweet girl. Shout out to them over there if they happen to be listening to the Dark Wolf's Den radio show tonight, guys. You guys are amazing. Also, while we were in Kingman, come to find out, I was on Beale Street. Now, that couldn't be any more ironic. Why is that ironic? Well, Tennessee has a Beale Street. It's in Memphis. And that's exactly where I was headed, was Tennessee. So lo and behold, my first stop pretty much off the plane picking up the train there in Kingman, Arizona, I ended up being right on Beale Street, which is where, like a block or so off from where the train station is. But they even had a big Elvis thing here from Beale Street. I was completely amazed. It was one of those ironies, if you will, that tells you, yeah, you're on the right track. I had an absolute blast in Kingman. It's a little bitty place, but it is on Route 66. It's right on Route 66, as a matter of fact. So yeah, fun times there. And there's the Beale Street Theater. That was absolutely awesome. I had a blast at the Beale Street Theater. Or not the theater, just in that area. I had a blast at the Rickety Cricket, and then walking up and down and taking these pictures was, I mean, irony. The irony you can't get over. And then the next picture on our list here, we have a train that is painted on the side of a water tower. This is also along Route 66. Amazing mural here right outside where I caught my next ride, the train. And while I was on this train, I actually had the joy of running into a couple Boy Scouts, and I thought, you know what? We need to do a story while we're traveling across country, as AJ had mentioned to me before, so that's exactly what we did. I found two Boy Scouts on the train, and I decided to ask them a couple of questions. All right, what's your name, sir? Just first names would be fine.
Jack.
Jack?
Tevin.
Tevin? All right. So, do you guys believe that discrimination is wrong?
Yes.
Of course, I think we can all agree on that, right?
Yes.
And of course, I think we could all agree that discrimination is wrong, at least on the surface, but I was amazed by the answers I got from these boys. Okay, so this vaccine thing, have you guys been vaccinated?
I have not yet.
You have and you have not? Excellent, excellent. So do you think it's right for a person that's not vaccinated to be discriminated against in any way? What do you guys think over there in the chat? Do you think it's right to be discriminated against for not getting the jabber jab? Go ahead and put a 1 in the chat room if you think it's okay. Put a 2 in the chat room if you think no, there's no reason for discrimination whatsoever.
I think it's okay.
You think it's okay?
I think it's okay.
You sir?
I mean, I don't know. It really depends.
It does depend, but overall I think it's okay.
To discriminate?
Yeah, against whether or not you have vaccinated. We're talking like you can't enter this store unless you have a vaccine or something?
Yeah, things like that, yeah.
Okay.
So you think, that's awesome. I'm not judging either way. I'm just asking questions, by the way.
If it's a private business, they can choose
right.
You know, what they want.
So do you think it's right to do that to their employees if half the employees are vaccinated, half are not?
For the employees who are working there?
Yeah.
I think that should be allowed because you could, as the person managing, you could say, hey, it's in best interest for all of us to be vaccinated, and therefore we don't necessarily want to compromise any one of us from like kind of weakest link type thing.
In the end, it's kind of it's their business, so they can choose what they want. And if another guy says, "Oh, you're not vaccinated, you can come to my store," then that's also fine. And I really like that he brought that up, that there can be stores that also choose not to put such draconian measures upon their employees or their customers. And let me tell you, the stores that don't enforce such ridiculousness are going to be the stores that survive. These corporations that are trying this garbage will fail. And how old are you boys?
16.
16.
16, excellent. And Cub Scouts, I love the fact you're Cub Scouts. I got to mention that. And of course, I said at the time Cub Scouts, but I believe 16 is actually Boy Scouts. So my apologies to those boys for getting that part wrong, but I really appreciated them talking to me for those couple minutes that they did, and it was really eye-opening. I did not expect the answers that I got from those guys. I didn't expect them to be so pro-vaccine and pro-business. However, I do love, once again, that the one boy brought up the fact that if there is companies that say, if you're not vaccinated, you can come over here and shop, those are the guys that are going to make it. And if anybody has a business, a private business, please, if you have any common sense whatsoever and actually want to make money, do not enforce these draconian measures, and you will be the most popular store in the entire city. That I can guarantee you. But we continued on our journey on the train, and we got to Kansas City, Missouri. Now, that was really, really interesting. I met a new friend there named Linda, and Miss Linda was kind enough to also give me an interview. Check this out. So we are now recording. I'm Jerry, and I'm here with Linda. And Linda, would you agree that discrimination in any form is wrong?
Oh yeah, because I feel like they should have had an answer for all of them. And I heard that too, so it was already out there, but nobody didn't take it so seriously.
Right.
And you know this mask thing, and then they talking about this shot or whatever they're supposed to be. I mean, they come in with one shot, then they come in another shot, then they go some kind of another shot supposed to be a Delta shot coming out. And you know, they said the virus supposed to be coming back.
Oh, really?
Yes, I'm trying to tell you. I mean, listen to kids. I listen to all of them. And you know, because of the inmates, you know, in prison and everything else, they doing a little thing too. You see what I'm saying? Because, you know, they got time wearing masks. And then, you know, even though they commit a crime or whatever, hey, you don't know who got it. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
I mean, but still, you is not eliminating nothing. You know, people going out here and turning around getting his hands sterilized and doing everything they could do. But then turn around, I got some friends who took the shot. One lost her hair, the other one is fragile. I mean, to the same thing, she barely could walk.
Really?
Not the first shot. She took the Johnson & Johnson, whatever that shot was.
So the Johnson & Johnson, and she can barely walk, and you said another one lost a hair?
Yeah.
Just from taking these
Taking the shots.
Because they ain't vaccines, let's be clear. Those are gene therapy.
Right. I did not hear that it did not even pass for testing for them to be putting it out here. FDA posted.
Oh no, there's no FDA approval whatsoever. It's an emergency use approval only.
No, I don't want it.
So do you think it's right that these companies are segregating their employees based on the vaccination?
Yeah, it's bad. You see what I'm saying? Because you know, I work at Pizza Hut. Okay, and they said that our boss manager was telling us that you know, if you take the shot, you're okay. If you don't take the shot, you gotta wear your mask.
Right.
Which I ain't got a problem with that. You see what I'm saying? Because I'm not ready standing on line getting some stuff put in my suit that they don't even know.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then it's a big old thing about it. And then turn around, it ain't doing nothing but making a chaotic thing out of it. For simple reason, people stealing ID. Some people is making the cards that say they got the shot.
Right.
Brainstorming
Well, the fact that somebody has to stoop to that position to make a fake card just to get away with, to not be segregated or discriminated against, that is so wrong.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, from a black person's point of view, and I'm not trying to make a race thing out of this, but black people have been discriminated against for years, as well as older people and in all these. But the reason they're able to get away with it is because vaccinated is not considered or unvaccinated is not considered a protected class.
It's not.
So if they find a new way to discriminate, is it any better or any worse than the other? Is it right?
It's not right to me. I'm just gonna tell you like it is. I'm not gonna sell it. You see what I'm saying? Because I feel like this. For them, they say for this COVID shot and everything, hey, you don't even have a solution for AIDS, HIV, and all that. And they was here before the virus got here.
Cancer?
You see what I'm saying? So how do you come up with a solution and put it in a bottle and then put it in a needle and say that, hey, this is what you're gonna do? Right. You're gonna pass everybody. Hey, let me tell you something. Like I told my friend, I said, take a shot. Pretty soon, you know the movie called Walking Dead?
Yep.
We're gonna have something like that.
You are not the only person to say that. I got a couple friends that were talking about, in a year we might have zombies walking around this sucker.
Yeah, Walking Dead.
And for the most dangerous flu ever, these little masks right here, little blue masks, we can literally throw them in a trash can.
But this is the thing is, with the blue masks, I don't like them because simple reason, they made out of fiberglass anyway.
Right. Oh, they're dangerous as is. Yeah. But if you go to a hospital and it's really a biohazard, they've got very special bins you have to use to put those biohazard materials in. You can't just throw them in a trash can. Yeah, we're supposed to believe this deadliest flu ever. Well, you can just throw your mask in a trash can, it's okay. Really? You think it spreads everywhere, but you can throw your dirty mask away. That makes no sense to me.
The thing is supposed to be airborne. You see what I'm saying? Let me tell you something. Some people who took the shot are still fine. You know what I'm saying? Because let me tell you something. You don't know who's sitting next to you. You don't know who walked out before you and had the virus. So let me tell you something. How is that you protecting yourself?
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Like I was telling my girlfriend, we was at the grocery store. Now, I'm watching the video. That's why I talk about the video. And I seen her go pick up this cucumber. You see what I'm saying? The same cucumber that the lady had before her, and she didn't want to put it back. Right. And who said the virus didn't transfer that way? Because you don't know. But then we got a grocery store that everybody who go buy groceries, that food that is not wrapped up or whatever, but you still touching it.
Right. And we're supposed to believe that's okay.
Okay. Somebody come up with a new plan. I'm trying to tell you.
Right. Absolutely.
You touching everything. You see what I'm saying? And then turn around. The thing is, when they were breaking out with the hand sterilizer, tissue, everybody was going like it was the 401k thing.
Right?
Oh,
couldn't find toilet paper to save your life.
I'm trying to tell you, better get the comic books or something. I'm trying to tell you. And you know what? I sat down and talked to her. I said, you know what? I don't know. But still, whoever was doing all this and whatever, somebody's still making some money.
Oh, no, that's what this is all about. Money, all the way around.
One time we got the thing for the COVID-19, then turn around we got another virus because it's supposed to be another virus.
The Delta variant, yeah.
Now, how you know it's coming, and what made you give it that type of name? You see what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, I mean, it's all about.
It's either they released it, or I think it's coming off the vaccinated people. Honestly.
Well, let me tell you something. On another state, country, I think it's China or Russia. In between one of them two, but they shut their thing down, and now they are fine over there. You see what I'm saying? You don't know where it came from. Cause let me tell you something. They say it came from China. They probably brought it over here.
That very well could have. Our administrators and all that is going back and forth.
You see what I'm saying? If it's airborne, you don't know when it's coming. You know, that's the thing is. When we was growing up, you had the chicken pox shot.
Right.
You got the measles shots.
Right.
You got the polio shot. I mean, you got all these things when you was coming up because they was on that and they studied for that.
Right.
To let you know it was going to be airborne, you got to be that.
Well, those were actually vaccines, though.
Right.
Those actually had a piece of the dead virus in it. This is literally changing your DNA. So what do you think we can do to, as regular people, to stop this or change this and stop this discrimination and craziness going on?
Oh, I'm talking about on the job.
Just on the job or in the world itself? I mean, do you think there's anything we could do individually?
Yeah, well, one thing we can say prayer.
I'm going to cut in here real quick. I have to agree with her, and I love that she said say a prayer as the first thing. The first answer she had is pray to God, because I have to second that. When all else fails, the last thing to do is get on your knees and pray, right?
But another thing, somebody got to come up with a plan better than this. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Because people losing their jobs, and you know, you spoil the hell out of it because this damn stimulus check come. But hell, when that shit run out, and you still got to wait till the company and all them still argue again, they want to send another one out. So where's the plan B in this? You see what I'm saying? I know the money is here to help them benefit and do what they got to do to catch up. But that's fine indeed. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And then when you do this, it should be an obligation. Say after this, everybody need to go back to work. You start learning how to be an independent. Start learning how to make your own money and do what you need to do. But to the certain extent, this money ain't doing nothing but babysitting people.
Right. Well, we've lived with the flu for years.
That's what I'm
and
saying.
we've been quite okay.
And the flu shot, you know the flu shot.
Right. I have never had the flu or the flu shot.
I haven't touched neither one of them.
Here.
You see what I'm saying? Neither one of them.
And ain't never had an issue.
This is the thing it is. You see what I'm saying? And like I was telling a girlfriend there, I said, you don't know who got it. You see what I'm saying? It's an airborne thing. You see what I'm saying? It could jump up you and jump up here, jump here, and jump here. I mean, it's just like a shadow. It's behind you and it's in front of you.
Right.
You don't know where it's located at. You see what I'm saying? And like I see people on Facebook, one man at his house, he got a bubble plaster all over. Get out of here.
Oh, we keep going the way they want. We all gonna be bubble boy.
You know what? Get out of here.
For real though.
Blasted the whole outside of the house. Everything. I'm telling you, go outside the house.
That's too much to ram rap for me.
That's too much. But I think that to a certain extent, everybody need to take this as consideration. And to a certain extent, if you want to live long, you make yourself live long. You see what I'm saying? Don't depend on nobody give you something they don't even test it for. You see what I'm saying? And I know some people like lawyers and judges, they even haven't touched this shit yet.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? But we walk around here, I'm telling you, we're going to be walking around here, we're going to be near a bill because we're going to be slobbing out the mouth. Tell you something. It's already talking about how these young kids already took it and they're doing something with their heart. You see what I'm saying? Come on now.
A lot of people losing their minds in this stuff. Like for real losing their mind. Like going crazy for real,
and,
for real.
You know, and then turn around, you know, I'm going to tell my girlfriend, you know, the kids is getting it. They want the kids to push it up and get it and all that time. Okay, that's fine. You see what I'm saying? But let me tell you something. We was brought up with on remedy and all that type of stuff. If we got to hold the chicken pot, you know what to do with the chicken pot.
Right.
Because it's a tradition thing that's passed out. This is not a tradition drug passing down.
No.
It has not been tested either. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
I don't care how many doctors and how many volunteers we got to try to put that needle in you and shoot it. And half of them don't even have the damn shot themselves.
And once again, our sincere thanks and our top hats off to Miss Linda, as we met in Kansas City Union Station and had one heck of a conversation. And speaking of conversations, this conversation needs to cut short for a minute, and we got to go to the second half. So my name's Jerry Hicks, also known as the Dark Wolf, and this is the Dark Wolf's Den Radio Show, exclusively on Ripon, Common Sense Radio Network, the Ripon Rabbit Hole. We'll be right back after these messages with the second half of the Dark Wolf's Den Show. Don't you touch that dial. That's right.
We gotta stoke the fires and run off the men in black. Don't touch that dial. We'll be right back.
Oh yeah, it's so great to have Jerry back on a Thursday night, carrying on extended weekends for you. 100s in the chat room for Jerry Hicks and the Dark Wolf's Den. Thank you, Jerry. It was such a tremendous honor to host you here, and here is the photo that would not be released to Jerry. You can see the smile on his face, bags in hand, as he's making his incredible journey to his new den. I can tell you, we broke bread, we shared discussion. It probably involved the moon and several other things that none of you will ever know. But I can tell you, I enjoyed it thoroughly, and so did Jerry. His belly was full as Nikki Rabbit prepared her signature hamburger. I can tell you, those burgers inspire conversation. It was a good time had by all, that's to say the least. If you're enjoying tonight's program, Jerry's incredible journey, and you haven't done so already, please make sure to thumb up that video, hit that subscribe button, and ring that bell. You'll get our notifications every time we go live. We're here every Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday nights, bringing you the very best of Common Sense Radio, the Ripon Rabbit Hole. I'll be back again tomorrow night, Friday, August 13th. Can you believe it? Friday the 13th. Get ready for a journey down the rabbit hole as together we explore flying spaghetti monsters. What better topic for Friday the 13th than the flying spaghetti monster? Starts at 7 p.m. Pacific, 10/9 Central, as all shows do. Then come along with me down the rabbit hole of contradiction, Saturday, August 14th. We're going to explore the fascinating rabbit hole of contradiction. We'll look at the great contradictions of the day. Then we'll end out the weekend right together with you. A look at misdirection from a magician's point of view. That's right. We're going to dive through and explore misdirection from a magician's point of view. And I'm not going to break any codes. I'm not going to go against the magician's code. But you'll want to be here Sunday night as we end out the weekend right together with you. August 15th. If you haven't done so already, please hop on over to the riponrabbithole.com. There you can sign up for an exclusive backstage pass. It's free to do so. It always will be. riponrabbithole.com. That's riponrabbithole.com. You're listening to the Ripon Common Sense Radio Network. We return now to Jerry Hicks and the Dark Wolf's Den. And an incredible journey.
Re-establishing multiverse connection. connection reestablished and secure.
This is My Life DIY, and
Hi, this is JoJo.
Hi, my name is Ash.
Hey everybody, it's AJ the Ripon Rabbit.
This is Cynthia Sue Larson.
This is your man Meta, aka Propagate This Light.
And you're now listening
to Dark Wolf's Den.
The Dark Wolf's Den Show on Ripon Common Sense Radio.
If you were meant to be controlled, you would have come with a remote, but you didn't. And that's why you listen to the Dark Wolf's Den Show. Now, here is your host, Jerry Hicks.
That's right, I am Jerry Hicks, also known as the Dark Wolf, and welcome back to the second half of the Dark Wolf's Den Show for Thursday, August 12th, 2021. So whether you're on the edge of reality, the edge of the galaxy, or the edge of your seat, we're glad you chose us to be right there with you. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're just joining us tonight, we are going over the journey that I took from Idaho all the way to Tennessee, and it has been an incredible journey indeed. We heard from two people already, two man-on-the-street interviews, and we're going to continue the story along as we go. So where we left off, we had went to Kansas City, and we ran into Miss Linda and had one heck of an interview with Miss Linda. I really enjoyed that. Shout out to you if you're listening out there, Miss Linda. And then we hopped a train, and myself and Miss Linda rode the train all the way over to, let's see, we left Kansas City. We ended up in St. Louis. From St. Louis, I took a little bit of time there, and that was the end of my train ride, and I caught a bus. And that bus trip got delayed by just a little bit, interestingly enough, and that will be important later. I actually had a couple delays along my trip. I had a 12-hour delay waiting for the first train, and then I had a 3-hour delay, and then I had a 2-hour delay. It was interesting because when I got to Tennessee, there was one person that I needed to talk to. He was a radio guy that I knew was still in radio, and I knew if I wanted to get a radio type job, that is the one person I knew that I needed to talk to. Well, when we get to Nashville, my daughter and grandsons come and pick me up, and we came back to Clarksville. And in Clarksville, I happened to stop by the Walmart. I told my daughter, I said, stop in here real quick. I need to pick up a couple things, before we get back to the house. So when I did, lo and behold, there's a tent area set up for a local radio station. Thought, that's cool. Maybe I'll stop by there on my way out and get a little bit of information, So on the way out of the store, we spent about 20, maybe 30 minutes in the store doing school shopping. And then when we come out of the store, my grandson was with me, and we had a bunch of school supplies. So there was a man standing at that same tent that I spoke of a minute ago for the radio station. And I thought, he looks really familiar if I didn't know. But I walked up and I yelled the name of the station, and they were like, hey, are you here to bring school supplies for the back to school stuff? Like, no, that was for my grandsons. But what is your name? And when I asked them, lo and behold, it was the one person that I knew that I needed to talk to when I got back to Clarksville. One person. Of all the times, I've never in my 29 years randomly seen this guy anywhere. And then all of a sudden, 29 years previously living in Clarksville, I should say. All of a sudden, I happened to run into the one person that I needed to run into, of all people ever, at that particular time, because he wasn't standing there when I went into the store. I had no idea he was there until I came back out. And he may very well not have been, right? So, that was the big synchronistic moment. I think that was the end of the time lock event. I knew when I got to Clarksville that the time lock event would end, but I literally lived a time locked event for about 2 weeks. And I can tell you that the end of these, because I wondered myself for a long time when I made the theory, you could call anything a time locked event. How can you specify one from the other? And the main thing I can tell you is it begins and ends with an incredibly synchronistic event in relation to whatever the event is that you're in. So mine was the synchronicity at the beginning that kicked it off, and the incredible synchronicity at the end that ended it. Which was really insane. But when I got back, a friend of mine contacted me and said, "Hey, I want to take you to a concert." I said, "Okay, I would love to go." It's a band called New Breed, NU-BREED. I think it's just a space. I don't even think there's a dash there. They're part of the Outlaw Nation recording group. And I had the honor and pleasure while I was at this concert to sit down with a couple members and artists of the actual group that was performing. I was able to sit down and get a couple interviews with those guys. The first one, we ended up on the bus with the lead singer of New Breed, one of the two lead singers of New Breed. And we were able to ask him about the paranormal. So this you're about to hear here is a guy named Joe. Once again, he's the lead singer of a band called New Breed. And we were literally sitting on the tour bus when I was able to record this. He thankfully gave me a couple minutes to do a small interview with him. So ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, Joe from New Breed.
Do you believe in the paranormal?
I believe in anything that I see.
Anything that you see. I'm here with Joe from New Breed, part of Outlaw Nation. Awesome to be here with him today. I appreciate it taking a couple minutes to talk to us.
Anything I see, and I have opinions on things that I can't, but I'm not too certain. I'm a realist, so I only can speak on what I know of.
So what have you seen?
I don't know. Stuff I can't explain sometimes, so I don't want to speak on it until I know sure, you know. Sometimes in my younger life, you know, but sometimes it could be just, you know, how kids are. So I don't know. Until I know for sure, I don't want to put no opinions out there that could be false or could not be false. Just like the whole religious thing. I believe there's a God. Never seen that, but by looking around and feeling it, I can feel that. I can see that by looking at the world. I don't know what religion is right or wrong. I don't want to pick one because I don't want to be wrong. And I think everybody has the freedom to pick whatever they want to pick. I just believe there's a God, there's a creator, a higher power, and there's good and evil in the world.
Here. I fully believe that. And you guys are doing a good job bringing the good into the world, my friend.
That's what we try to do most, especially this day and age.
We need it, man. Somebody to stand up and speak up. It's about time. Well, we definitely appreciate your time, bud.
Oh, man, no problem. Thank you.
Once again, that was Joe, the lead singer, or one of the lead singers of New Breed. I really enjoyed their music. I liked it a lot. My favorite song by them is called Welcome to This House. Or Welcome to My House. Welcome to My House. That's a great song if you're interested in checking out their work. It's a good one to start with. The other artists there were really, really awesome too. There was one of them that was called Old Dirt Road. Really cool guy, very people-oriented. Even though he was one of the stars of the show, you couldn't have told it just by the way he interacted with everybody. He was really cool, really great down-to-earth guy. And I also had a chance to slip aside and talk to him for just a couple moments. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Old Dirt Road. OLEDIRT-ROAD. Check this out.
All right, this is Jerry the Dark Wolf here with ODR of Outlaw Nation. ODR, do you believe in the paranormal, sir?
Yeah, I do.
Have you had any paranormal experiences, sir? I would love to hear about it.
I was probably 16 years old, laying in the bed of my house, almost just like mediocre asleep, and nobody in the room but me, and the covers get snatched from my neck all the way down to my knees off of my bed. And needless to say, I didn't sleep there for like 2 or 3 nights.
Dude, I bet, man. Is that the only incident you had, or did you live in a haunted house for most of your life? Or?
No, I mean, like a bit.
However, that is not the only talent that ODR possesses.
It may sound weird, but like I feel energy, bro.
Oh, I do too. I'm with you.
Yeah, like I feel like I can walk in a place and tell if it's bad.
Right.
Yeah. So like, I've always been able to do that. And it's like I haven't ever seen nothing that wasn't there.
Right.
But like I seen a picture fly off the wall one time, and it was just us sitting in the house.
Dude.
No, pictures fall and they fall straight down.
Yeah. They don't go flying off the wall. Yeah. That's what's up, yo. So I've had a couple experiences like that too. I feel energies myself. I go into a building or something, I can feel, there's a ghost here, there's an energy there. That's actually a rare gift to have. Have you seen the UFOs, anything like that, or just ghosts?
Crazy you say that. I actually dipped in my phone. Actually, I did. I was laying in my bed actually, and I wasn't drinking, wasn't nothing like that. And then I was laying in the bed, and I got these 2 big bay windows that overlook the river.
Right.
And I seen like this big old thing moving up in the sky, and I'm like, what is that? Is that the moon? So I get out and I look, and the moon's there, and something about the quarter size of a moon, about that far, still up there by the moon.
Right.
Right by it.
Right.
And it goes past the moon, and it stops, and it backs. It don't turn around, it backs up past the moon. And then I snap a picture of it, and it looks like it catches on fire, or either lights come on, and it shoots straight up.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely 100%.
Where was this?
Milo, Maine.
Maine?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That
Absolutely,
is interesting,
100%.
man.
I even got pictures of it. I can dig through my files in my gallery.
Yeah.
And if you send me your email, I can send them to you.
Bet.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I appreciate your time, ODR.
Yeah.
Appreciate
it. Listen, if there wasn't nothing out there bigger than us, what the fuck are we doing, bro? You know
what you said. Appreciate that. Good final thought.
What a great final thought. If we're the only ones out there, what in the world are we doing, right? But ladies and gentlemen, it has been one heck of a journey. I have missed you guys so very much, and I cannot tell you how proud and honored I am to be back here and be on the air with you guys. One thing I will say, if you never learn another thing from the Dark Wolf, learn this. Always stand up for what you believe is right. Stand up for what is right, no matter what the cost. I gave up everything I had. I had a perfect setup. I was more than spoiled, and I was willing to give that up in order to do what's right. I know a lot of people out here are facing situations that seem impossible and are being given ultimatums and not choices. And I say to you, stay strong and do what's right. Because doing what's right has led me to where I am right this second, and I could not be more happy and more proud of what I have done. I do not regret it even a little bit. I've thought it through 100,000 times, and I'm proud that I've stood up for the rights of myself and other workers. I am proud that I made the right choice in my morals that I believe was right. And I urge every last one of you to always do the same thing. No matter what the consequences look to be, always do what's right. That's what this country was founded on, and that's what we need to continue to do every single day. Ladies and gentlemen, I have taken a journey by a plane, a train, and a bus. And crossing this beautiful country is some of the most incredible land I've ever seen in my entire life. If you ever have the chance to take a train trip across the country, I would more than highly recommend it. It is an experience you will never forget, that I will tell you, and a good experience. A lot of times you hear that it's not necessarily good experiences, right? But it was a very, very good experience, very beautiful experience, a lot of gorgeous landscape along the way. I cannot get over how amazing that train ride was. And meeting the different people around this country that have such diverse opinions, but everybody agreed on one thing: discrimination is wrong and should not be practiced anywhere ever, period. And don't let yourself be discriminated against. But again, just a different variety of people that we were able to find along this trip. Huge shout out to everybody that I interacted with. I know there's so many names that I tried to remember, and I've totally not remembered them. It's been a couple weeks since then. But to everybody that I interacted with, it was an absolute honor and a pleasure, and I cannot tell you how much I enjoyed it, guys. It has definitely been one incredible journey. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I will ask, what do you guys think? Do you guys think that I had a good time, that time-locked events, that we learned something there, that we actually learned about the synchronicities? Do you think that that people all across this world are kind of getting along the same thinking? Do you think people are starting to agree that things are wrong? Do you think people are starting to stand up for what's right? In the end, ladies and gentlemen, all you can do is look at the evidence, apply a little common sense, and you be the judge. we got to close it out. That's right. That's it for this episode of the Dark Wolf's Den Show for Thursday, August 12th, 2021. So whether you're on the edge of reality, the edge of the galaxy, or the edge of your seat, we're glad you chose us to be right there with you. Ladies and gentlemen, the den may be closing, but don't you worry, the weekend fun is only just begun. That's right. Make sure you come back tomorrow, Friday, August 13th, 2021, 7 p.m. Pacific, 10/9 Central, for an all-new episode of the Ripon Rabbit Hole live show starring our buddy and network partner, AJ the Ripon Rabbit. That's right. On Friday, he's going to be talking about the Flying Spaghetti Monster. It's actually not as creepy as it may sound. If you're looking for a new religion, this might be the show for you. It's a fairly young religion, but one that is very intriguing. I know a couple pastafarians myself. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. So if you're interested in becoming a pastafarian, make sure you check out the Flying Spaghetti Monster episode on Friday, August 13th, 2021, 7 p.m. Pacific, 10/9 Central, right here on Ripon Common Sense Radio. Then on Saturday, make sure you come back for another episode of the Ripon Rabbit Hole live show, as he's going to be talking about contradictions. That's right. Or maybe you shouldn't. Maybe you should and shouldn't. I don't know. There's a lot of contradictions in today's world, especially in the laws that are trying to be passed to govern today's society. Lots of contradictions indeed, and he'll be discussing, I'm sure, all those and more on Saturday, August 14th, 2021, 7 p.m. Pacific, 10/9 Central. Then on Sunday, AJ the Ripon Rabbit will be back one more time to round the weekend out right, as the Animals of Radio close out another week of absolute fun. On Sunday, he's going to be talking about misdirection. Of course, as a magician, he has mastered the art of misdirection, the sleight of hand, and perhaps he'll give us a couple tips and tricks that we can also use to master the same thing, or see when it's being used against us, right? That is all going to be on Sunday, August 15th, 2021, 7 p.m. Pacific, 10/9 Central, right here on Ripon Common Sense Radio, the Ripon Rabbit Hole. Ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't been over to the Ripon Rabbit Hole yet, may I highly suggest that you hop on over there and sign up for our Backstage Pass, and that's how you're going to get the emails once a week, every week, with all of the show topics that we're covering for the extended weekends here on Ripon Common Sense Radio. The most extended weekends in radio, right? We only take 2 days off, and we may get those filled soon. We don't know, right? But we do have the most extended weekends in radio, and we are so glad to be able to be back on and extend those weekends with you guys. While you're on the RiponRabbitHole.com, make sure you go on over to the 24/7 Backstage Lounge. That is my personal favorite place to hang out. I hang out there literally every night along with the other rabbits. So for you guys, the conversation's in here, but for the rabbits, the conversation is just beginning on the RiponRabbitHole.com. That's right. By the way, that is RiponRabbitHole.com. That's right. Over there, you're also going to find the groups section. Our particular group is the Dark Wolf's Den Show. There's also groups about lucid dreaming and ghosts and UFOs and everything you could really think of over there. So no matter what you like, come on over and check out the groups areas and see if you can find other like-minded people. That's right. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go ahead and get out of here tonight. So on behalf of AJ the Ripon Rabbit, Chick Mandela Effect, Michael Musco, Walt House, Red Shed Studios, our buddy Tom Bayless. Get down with it, Tom. On behalf of all these folks, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Jerry Hicks. You're listening to the Dark Wolf's Den Show on Ripon Common Sense Radio Network. And remember, until next time, ladies and gentlemen, stay awake, but dare to dream. That's right.
things are better left unknown. And I'll never find you here, 'cause no one's ever home. Oh, what a widow, a peaceful spider. When the grass is clean, she's a sneaky hider. Hide the lies and the alibis. Oh, what a sinner is it in her? What's the truth in this riddle? Is love really just this simple? I can't seem to find my way in this world that never stays. What a widow, a peaceful spider. When the glass is clean, she's a sneaky hider. Hide the lies and the alibis. What a sinner is it in her? Is this real? Just illusion? I'm lost in the wonderland of confusion. I'm lost in the wonderland of confusion. Is this real or just illusion? Manifestation or a dark delusion? Is this real or just illusion? I'm lost in a